Yo, what is up, my brothers and sisters? It is Shinobi here, and today I am going to be talking about the level 5 drama that has appeared recently, and this is a huge deal if you're a Yokai Watch fan, much like myself. And I will warn you that this video mentions AI, controversy, and mixed feedback. And if you do not want to hear my opinions or about the controversy or even the AI, you can skip off, but please be respectful in the comments and do not harass anyone who is mentioned or even referenced in this video, as I do not condone it despite my anger. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So, people have been really upset with Level 5's new policy of piracy. Now, let me just get this out of the way by saying I kind of understand where they're coming from. So, right here, it says we want to address a serious issue that we have recently observed: the unauthorized reproduction and distribution of our game software, across certain communities, except where permitted under copyright law or applicable regulations. This part is important. Most people don't even read this part. uh, Reproducing, modifying, or editing our game without authorization is uh, as well as distributing and selling is not allowed for copyright use. And here's the thing: it says unless permitted under copyright law or applicable regulations. So it says right here that. So basically, they're saying you're not allowed to mod the game illegally. And as for the ROMs, I will say this: if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. And then they want to make everything fair. You see, Japan has a lot of trouble going through their copyright system. I don't know why, but there's a lot of stuff. And about the AI controversy, I just want to say I have mixed feelings about that. I don't feel like AI should be flat out banned, but I don't think it should be used for everything. For example, AI is in every video game. Basically that's basically how your games work. That's how the NPC knows what to do. So basically, if you take that into consideration, it could basically give you more of an open mind or something like that. So I'm not trying to play any sides here by saying that one person's at fault or another, but one thing I would really hope to say is that they people would at least take what I'm saying into consideration. So, one thing I should probably mention is that I, on the other hand, wish that the person who made the Yokai Watch ROM, or at least the second one for the Nintendo Switch, I wish that he laid low before even considering it, because people know how things go. And maybe he could have sold it to level 5, I'm not sure. But yeah, what I was hoping is that he would have been quiet at first and then sell it to level 5 after he was done making it. That way, everything would be fair. But I guess I guess not. But not to worry, everyone. We know for a fact that we have survived a lot worse in these times. For example, we survived COVID, we've survived copyright abuse from a lot of other companies and a lot of other stuff. So take this into consideration. Valve is a good company, and I will forever die on that hill to say that they are a good company. So basically, Valve, they want to stop piracy by adding stuff that wouldn't necessarily be considered piracy. If you get what I mean. Sorry that I'm saying this. It's just live, and I really don't want to do any bloopers or have my words twisted. But yeah, basically, I just want to let people know where I'm coming from. So I feel like if the person who made the port or something, if they had laid low or something like that, or just not announced it and then sent it to level 5 at first, maybe things could have been a little different, and they could have been impressed or not impressed, like by the work. I'm not entirely sure how to explain it, because like I said, I am a little bit of a mixed background on this. So basically, what we got to do is we got to find out what are the positives, what are the negatives, and what can we do about it. So there's a lot of things that we can do about this, but I just feel like we should mainly be more careful, if that makes sense, because stuff usually doesn't go unnoticed, like piracy. And I want to say I am 100% for game preservation. So if a game has not really been in support for the past few years or whatever, and if it's basically just not being updated anymore or even given out, then I just gotta say it's impossible to steal something that isn't for sale because, well, I mean, actually, I wouldn't say that. It's impossible to steal something that isn't able to be stolen, if you get what I mean. So basically, if you're saying don't pirate our games that we don't sell, just don't steal something that cannot be stolen. But I honestly just cannot really pick a side here. I want to be on level 5 side because of all the good times I had with them in my childhood, but I don't really know because a lot of things have been not really going the way that they should have been. And the plus side of this is that Yokai Watch has been getting a lot more attention lately, for better and worse. So that's a plus at least. And I grew up with Yokai Watch and wanted to basically have a good childhood with it. And the thing that really ticks me off is the fact that I, on the other hand, never really got to experience Yokai Watch the way that a lot of kids in their childhood would have with stuff like Pokemon and Dragon Ball and you name it. So basically, long story short, my childhood was never that good. I played the demo of the game. I begged my parents to get me a copy of the game, physical or digital. I don't care. Like, I didn't care as long as I was going to play the game. And it really ticked me off because I was stuck on the demo and there were only a few tries left. I tried watching it on cable, but it was never on when I was there. And there was a time in my life when I wasn't even allowed to play video games, even in the slightest. So I would have to sneak on YouTube just to find gameplay. And it sucks because I never got to enjoy Yokai Watch when I was a kid because it was pretty much taken away from me. So it ended in the West too soon. And I can understand that Japan doesn't want to trade resources with the US at the moment. But in their defense, they did make Yokai Watch 3, which is basically a gift from Japan to America. Though it would be the final nail in their coffin as their gift to their grave or whatever, it was still at least a fairly good game. And Yokai Watch 4, it's good and all, it's just missing a few key aspects like going to other towns such as the other sides, basically downtown Springdale, basically going to Blossom Heights, you name it. But the way I see it is that the 360 view is what's really bothering me because I have always wanted to see Yokai Watch from a 360 view. Because as you can tell right now, while I'm rotating this camera, there are some walls that have yet to be seen. And even if I go like in the corners and stuff like that, it's still hard to see it. So I was kind of confused to why they would even have a 360 camera in some places, like in Yokai Watch 3, but not in others. Because I would really like to remake this one day in Minecraft or something like that. In level 5, if you're watching this, I do like your content, but I cannot respect the rule of people just not being allowed to use it. Like, if that's what you're implying, which I know you're technically not, but this is what I'm trying to say. I respect your other rules within reason, but rules such as the preservation, I'm sorry, but I don't care how much you think that it's a bad thing. This is actually good for your business if you encourage people to play old games for your legacy. So level 5, I'm sorry, but if your games are no longer for sale, I am going to emulate them and preserve them. Besides, I bought all of your games in the past except for Yokai Watch 4 because it is not available in my region. But I will say this though, if you put Yokai Watch 4 on the Western audiences for not only the PlayStation, but as well as the Nintendo Switch, I will be more than happy to basically buy your products. It's not that I don't want to buy your products, it's that I can't because they're not for sale. How could you buy something that's not for sale? How could you steal something that cannot be stolen? Stuff like that. And level 5, I will defend you until you cross moral boundaries. And that's basically where I stand. Like, I will defend you to an extent. Like, what I won't do though is support everything if it doesn't really make sense. I'm mainly doing this for your own good. So basically that. And Abdallah, if you're watching this, thank you for making my childhood, because I grew up with you. You're how I found out about the Yokai Watch games, but not the series as a whole. But Abdallah, thank you for bringing us into the light of Yokai Watch. You're basically the ambassador of this entire series. So hopefully you can do something to bring it back. And if by some small chance you are watching this video, I just want you to know how grateful I am that you brought Yokai Watch into its fame. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. And yes, I am playing on an emulator and stuff like that. They don't like it, sue me, but yeah, please, guys. Even if what I said might not make sense to you at first, please take it into consideration. And please, please be respectful in the comments below, because I already have to deal with too many hate comments with people twisting my words or whatever, and I really don't appreciate it. So if you guys can just please have an open mind, I would appreciate that.